back to the Bookworms Buddy. I'm here to do a review for you, and I'm going to be reviewing The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, which we know is J.K. Rowling, her pseudonym. And this is her mystery, and it's a duology, I think. I don't think it's going to be any more after The Silkworm. But I read this book as a buddy read with Tegan over at Once Upon a Novel, and I enjoyed it for the most part. You have Cormoran Strike, who is a private investigator, and he's kind of washed up, really. He's not really had much going on. He is a former military police. He was in Afghanistan, and he lost his leg, and he's just barely scraping by now. Man comes into his office and says that his sister, Lula, committed suicide, but he doesn't believe it was suicide. The police have already deducted that that's what the case was, and he wants Mr. Strike to investigate and find out the truth. I think the plot was good. I think it had a good story. I just think there were parts where it got boring, and those parts were the parts where he was going back over the old case, and I just think it needed to be wrote differently. It just seemed to drag in those parts, and it was a long part of that, him going over everything. Now, when it went back to when he was investigating, it picked up, and it was exciting, it was adventurous, and it was fun to read it. And as far as the characters go, I really did kind of like the characters quite a bit. Cormoran Strike was a flawed character, and he did have issues. And he's got this girl that comes in and just decides that she's going to work for him, and he's trying to figure out how he's going to pay her, because she went through this something solutions, and where it's kind of like a temp agency. She was really kind of upbeat, and she kept Cormoran, you know, where he was supposed to be, kept him level-headed and that kind of stuff. For the most part, he was pretty flawed, and I always enjoy that in characters. As you all know, that's a big deal with me. I don't want those perfect characters that I found in other mystery books. I want them to be flawed, and I want them to, you know, have to really work to make things, you know, work out and to solve crimes and that kind of stuff. I enjoyed the characters of the story. I kind of think, though, at the end of the book that things kind of fell into place too easily. So it kind of lost that flawed feeling. It just everything just like, oh, this and this and this and this. Okay, we have the case solved. So I think that it just kind of fell into place a little bit too easy for my taste. But overall, it was decent. It was enough to keep me glued to the book. I read it in a couple days, and I will be reading The Silkworm. I'm not sure when. I don't know if I'm reading it with Tegan or if I'm just going to be reading it by myself. I don't know that yet. I could recommend this book to several people that like mystery. I think there's enough there to keep you glued and to keep you interested. I just think there were parts that were maybe even irrelevant to the story. I don't know, it just seemed like it dragged the story down a little bit. But for the most part, it was enjoyable. I think I rated it 3.5 stars on Goodreads. And, I mean, you know, we all know J.K. Rowling has great ability when it comes to writing and stuff. So don't go into it thinking, you know, oh, Harry Potter-ish, and it's really not. This is really adult. And you see a whole different side to J.K. Rowling's writing, which I think was fantastic. I think that's good that she can separate herself. I just wish that she would have written it in her regular name, but, you know, there's always reasons for why people do the stuff that they do. So, yeah, if you like mystery, give it a shot. I think it is worth the read. So, you know, especially if you like murder mysteries and stuff like that. So anyway, 3.5 stars on Goodreads. It was decent. It was worth the read. Pick it up if you're interested in mystery. And if you've read the book, let me know in the comments below, and we'll talk about it. Thanks, guys, for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.